The world I see holds nothing I want. The world you see holds nothing you want. What's good, fam? Today we will be studying lesson 128 of A Course in Miracles, and just a few little reminders from previous lessons to help make this make more sense as we dive in. If we go back to lesson 1, me and you understand by now that nothing in this world means anything. Nothing we see means anything. This glass right there, this light right there, these glasses, that book, whatever it is that you see around you, if you take a look in your environment, that piano, none of that means anything. It is dust, it is temporary, and what is not eternal never existed to begin with, because God only creates like himself. God only creates the eternal, and what God did not create really does not exist. So me and you are here in this world, and me and you have given everything that we see all the meaning that it has for us. Remember, everything we see is meaningless. And if that's too strong of a word, another word we could use would be neutral. Everything we see is neutral, but our thoughts about those things are not neutral, because me and you have no neutral thoughts. So you can either think with God or not think at all. You could either think positive or negative, if you will, love or fear. Those are your only two options to choose from. And whatever your eyes lie upon, whatever your glance is upon, whether it's a book, it's a car, amount of money, a number in your bank account, a relationship, a person, whatever it is that your eyes may look upon, those are only what the body's eyes see. And you have no neutral thoughts about that thing, meaning you are looking at it and you are giving it the meaning of fear and worry and doubt, not enoughness, or you are looking for it as it really is, which is what God would have it be, which is a reflection of who you really are. Now, we're going to dive more into this as we go along today, but just understand that me and you have to first recognize we don't understand anything we see, which is lesson 3. And whenever we repeat that, I do not understand anything I see, then that will help us be open to receive what everything actually does mean. Because up until now, me and you have been looking outside of ourselves, and we have been painting over everything we see, meaning we have been painting our own image. We have been seeing our own projections over everything, and that is why we feel the way we feel about them. And again, if something outside of you is making you feel worried, doubt, fear, upset, etc., then you have projected that meaning onto it. And if something out there is making you feel love, freedom, joy, you are looking at this thing that your eyes are lying upon. You are looking at it with true vision. You are seeing it as it really is. Now, remember, whenever you look at something and you feel like you're glorifying it, and it's making you feel love and happy, but without that thing, you don't feel like you're enough, that's actually still a form of fear, because true love is not conditional, meaning if you're putting this car on a pedestal or this amount of money on a pedestal and you're saying I'm looking at it with love, that's really not, because you're looking at it like it's better than you, or like you are going to be more in the presence of that thing that you're looking at. And that is just not so, because if you knew who you really are, which I'm sure you do, then you know that you are already whole and love and light and lacking nothing. And sometimes we fall asleep to that fact whenever we think that something out there in the world holds something that we want. And today's lesson states, the world I see holds nothing that we want. Nothing out there is going to make us feel complete. Maybe temporarily, but that is just a little band-aid fix over a problem, if you will, that is much deeper. And the problem, and there is only one problem, is our sense of separation with who we really are, with our creator, with all that is. That is our only problems. Remember, me and you have studied a lesson a few weeks ago, which was we may think that we have many problems, but we only really have one problem. So although it looks like we have a problem in relation with this relationship, a problem in relation to money, financial, friendship, etc., it all stems to one problem, which is I feel like I'm lacking something. And the only reason I can feel like I'm lacking something is because I don't know who I am. Therefore, I'm separated from the knowledge and truth of who I am. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to talk more about what we just discussed just now. Go ahead and pull up to the page. If you don't got the book yet, the PDF is in the description. And let's go ahead and begin. Lesson 128. The world me and you see holds nothing that we want. The world you see holds nothing that you need to offer you. Nothing that you can use in any way, nor anything at all that serves to give you joy. Believe this thought, and you are saved from years of misery, from countless disappointments, and from hopes that turn to bitter ashes of despair. No one must accept this thought as true if he would leave the world behind and soar beyond its petty scope and little ways. So a quick little tip: if any of the ideas presented to us at any point in our studying this course together, if any of the ideas presented to us seem like, okay, it's going to take time for me to understand this, then just look outside of yourself and look at others, and you'll see that other people out there believe that the world has something that they want. And it states right here that they are going to end up in misery and countless disappointments, because they're going to understand that that thing that they thought that they were going to be happy when they got and they finally got didn't make them as happy as they thought it would. Maybe temporarily, but it was just a quick fix, and now they need another quick fix because they don't know who they really are. Now, that's me and you too at some points in time, and we have to be aware of that. And if we can't see it on ourselves, we could see it happening out there. And I'm sure it's easier to see out there. The whole world is insane, thinking that they need something in order to make them feel better. And we do the same thing, which is why it's important for us to observe this truth anywhere we can see it, so that way we could be made aware that this is what's going on. Because whenever we're not aware of our blocks, if you will, if we're not aware of those belief systems that we hold that are causing us to see the world in the way we do, if we're unaware of them, then we are shackled to it. We can't do anything about going beyond that block because we are unaware that that block exists. We think that is just how the world is. We think that this world is just like this. This is the way things are. Life is life. And that's just not so. Because if you were made aware of the information like we're being made aware of now, then we would see with a true bird's eye view from that higher perspective above the battleground. Oh, so the reason why I feel needy when it comes to this person or this thing that I want is because I think that it's going to bring me the happiness that I desire. But now that I'm understanding that I am already happy as being who I really am, then I must not be being who I really am in any of those moments when I'm looking for happiness and joy and salvation, if you will, out there in the world. And when you're made aware of that, now you can do something about catching yourself whenever you do feel needy or whenever you do feel like you're lacking something, because you say, oh, I'm feeling this emotion again. I'm feeling fear. I'm feeling lack. Let me go back and remember what I studied in lesson 128 or whatever lesson that it may have been. And you will begin to get a sense of how this information that we're discussing is just how it works. And we're not aware of it until we practice this enough times to see it out there in the world that this is what's going on. Now, one more thing I do want to say before we continue reading is that I'm sure me and you understand this by now. And if you take a look out there again in the insane world and you see all the individuals that you see throughout your daily routine, and just listen to their dialogue, listen to the way they talk about things and the way they talk about people and the way they feel, just take a look at that and observe it without judgment, but observe that this individual is attacking themselves. Remember, only your thoughts can hurt you, and all thoughts that do not stem from love are attack thoughts, meaning whenever you think anything of envy, jealousy, hatred, etc., all of those are attacks upon yourself. Now, me and you have not been attacking ourselves as much as we used to because we're aware whenever we are doing so, and then we no longer continue to attack ourselves. But if you take a look out there again without judgment but observe, you will see that the world is attacking themselves individuals are attacking themselves because they believe that something outside of themselves, either one, could make them happy and make them enough, or two, could make them in danger or vulnerable or destroy them in some way, because those are both two forms of fear. Whether you think you could be attacked or you think something out there could make you feel whole, those are both two forms of fear. Whenever you look with true vision on the world, you understand that the world holds nothing that we want, and you return to your true sense of love and joy that emerge forth from within you as being as God created you. Each thing you value here is but a chain that binds you to the world, and it will serve no other ends but this. For everything must serve the purpose you have given it, until you see a different purpose there. That's powerful and I believe worthy of being highlighted. Everything must serve the purpose you have given it. Remember, everything we see does not mean nothing, and we cannot stress this enough. This highlighter does not mean anything. This book does not mean anything. This glass does not mean anything. Everything that we see with our physical eyes is neutral, it is meaningless, and me and you have actually gave it the meaning that we have for it. And I'm going to use a good example, okay? So this glass, for example, this has no meaning. And if you go back to whenever you were a child, you would look at this glass right here and you would not know what this is. You could slam it around, break it, hurt yourself with it because you don't know that this material could cut you in this world. You don't know what this is. You don't know that it's called a cup. You do not know what this is. But now me and you know that what this is because we see only the past. Remember, I see only the past, and everything we see, we think that we see a glass, we think that we see a shirt, we think that we see a highlighter, but we are really only seeing the idea that we have given this object. Because if a baby had this in their possession, if you had this in your possession the day you were born, it would mean nothing to you. You wouldn't know what it was for. And then someone says, this is what this is for. This is what this is for. This is what this is for. And now you repeat, that's what that's for. That's what that's for. And now you think that everything that you see is what it is, when really it's only what you have given the meaning to. So one more time, for everything must serve the purpose you have given it, until you see a different purpose there. Now, if we remove our purpose and our meaning from everything that we see from the world and see it as it really is, then everything in this world is enlightening, it is joyous, it is beautiful, it is love. That's what everything is, because all that is love and cannot be otherwise. Me and you, however, have put meaning over everything that we see, and we can't see its real purpose, its real meaning, because we are looking at our own projections onto the world. And that may not seem like a big deal, but it's a very big deal, because if anything out there is getting you upset and causing you to fall asleep, then you have projected something on there for a long enough period of time to make that trigger keep triggering you. That person doesn't mean nothing within themselves. They're just a body. And remember, we can't see them for who they really are while we are believing that they are the body. And because we see that bag of skin and bone over there and it's dust, and we see that and we think that that is real, we think that the meaning of that person over there is annoying, or they talk too much, or they are shy, or this or that. Those are all the meanings that you have given that individual. Therefore, you're only seeing your own projections rather than who they really are. And because we can't see them for who they really are, and we think that they are a body, then that just perpetuates the belief that me and you are a body, and that keeps us binded to the world whenever you think that you're this body, because now you're limited. And whenever you see anyone else's body, you are perpetuating that belief that being a body is possible, and that is just not so. Me and you have put all the meaning we have given everything, and it's going to be valuable to us until we remove that meaning and we have it serve the purpose that it really holds, which is the purpose that God has given to it. And one more thing I do want to say before we continue is there is a lesson that we're going to be getting to further down the line, but the lesson is everything I think I see reflects an idea. or is but an idea, something along those lines. Everything I think I see is basically reflecting an idea to me. So we're understanding finally that if I look at this speaker right here, although my physical eyes see this speaker in this world, this is just reflecting back an idea to me. And that goes with everything, because everything began as an idea, as a thought. All that is thought, because we are in the mind of God and we have the power to create by thought. And in this world, this is just a dense version where an idea gained so much momentum and thought and thought and thought and ideas around it that it finally manifested, if you will, in its physical form, in the physical counterpart. And now we think we see the speaker, but really what we think we see is actually reflecting back to us an idea. So this is actually an idea in the mind of a child of God, and so is everything else. Now, as we learn that, we will look upon this world and understand that everything is just reflecting back an idea to you, because that's the root of the basis of that thing in the physical world. Just like how this body does not mean nothing, it is simply reflecting an idea of who I think I am, but it does not mean nothing in itself. I'm going to find a way to explain this more and more and more better as time goes on, but I hope that made a little bit of sense and doesn't seem so conceptual. But we will begin to understand this on a deeper level as the days go on, and it will all begin to become so much more apparent to us if it is not already. And even if it is, we will begin to even understand it on a deeper level. So let's go ahead and continue. For everything must serve the purpose you have given it until you see a different purpose there. The only purpose worthy of your mind this world contains is that you pass it by, without delaying to perceive some hope where there is none. Be you deceived no more. The world you see holds nothing you want. Escape today the chains you placed upon your mind when you perceive salvation here. For what you value, you make part of you as you perceive yourself. That's very powerful right there. All things you seek to make your value greater in your sight limits you further, hide your worth from you, and add another bar across the door that leads to true awareness of yourself with a capital S, who we really are. Now I'm going to go back on that one more time and read that. All things you seek to make your value greater in your sight limits you further. So whenever you believe that I need this chain in order to feel better because it's going to add value unto me, you think you're the body, therefore it's limiting you because you're believing that something outside of you is capable of making you feel better than, or making you feel more, or making you feel higher. And in that case, we don't really know who we are. So all things that we seek to make our value greater, such as vehicles, money, relationships, all of that meaningless stuff that the whole world searches for, including me and you, is in our sight, is going to limit us further than we are already limited right now, which is why these lessons that we're doing is very important, because it's helping us understand that once we remove all the meaning from the world and we understand that it's nothing and nothing can make you more valuable, dust cannot make you more valuable, then you begin to see the true value that you already are. We've been doing it a whole 180-degree turn. We have been living life for the majority of our life the complete opposite way of what we intended. There's truth, and direct opposition to it, there is nothing. There is an illusion, there's hallucinating, there's fear, there's the ego, whatever it is that you want to call it, but they are all synonymous for the lack of what actually is. And by me and you returning to the awareness of what actually is, we can release our wanting and needing and desiring from nothingness. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have desires still in this world. There's nothing bad with the desires. But right now, we have to remember that we are reaching the foundation and the root of all of our perceived problems. Meaning, we are still going to have desires in this world, but you're perfect without them. If you never accomplish it, you will be perfectly fine. And that's actually a little tip, side note, a great way for you to accomplish your desires much quicker in time in this world is by releasing attachment to them. Because when you're so attached to an outcome and receiving something that you think is going to make you feel more in this world that means nothing, whenever you believe that, then you are attached to that outcome, and it kind of slows you down from actually obtaining that thing that you want. But whenever you understand that everything in this world is just dust, it is just an illusion, it's a video game that will all end soon, then you will release attachment to the need of those things, and you will be surprised that now they will come to you much more effortlessly than they did before because you no longer have an attachment to the outcome. They hide our worth from us and add another bar across the door that leads to true awareness of ourself. Now, me and you can't know who we really are if we believe that something out there is capable of making us whole, because we must, if something out there is capable of making us whole, if we believe an individual out there is capable of making us whole, then that implies that we are not whole already. Therefore, off the rip, the root of our problem is separation, because we don't know who we really are. That's the root of everyone's problems, is they don't really know who they are. And if they did, then they would not be perceiving a problem at all, because the only problem there is the separation from you and your source. Let nothing that relates to the body, thoughts, delay your progress to salvation, nor permit temptation to believe the world holds anything you want to hold you back. Nothing is here to cherish. Nothing here is worth one instant of delay and pain. One moment of uncertainty and doubt. It is not worth it. It is dust. Are you really going to delay your wholeness and continue to be in pain over dust, over nothing? That's all it is. The worthless offer nothing. Certainty of worth cannot be found in worthlessness. That's a bar right there. One more time. The worthless can offer nothing. This speaker, this chain, this shirt, that individual body that we think that they are a body cannot offer. The worthless can offer nothing. Certainty of worth cannot be found in worthlessness, meaning people are searching for their worth outside of themselves and they're never going to find it. Today, we practice letting go all the thought of values we have given to the world. We leave it free of purposes we gave its aspects and its phases and its dreams. We hold it purposeless within our minds and loosen it from all we wish it were. Thus do we lift the chains that bar the door to freedom from the world and go beyond all little values and diminished goals. Pause and be still a little while, and see how far you rise above the world when you release your mind from the chains and let it seek the level where it finds itself at home. It will be grateful to be free a while. It knows where it belongs, but free its wings and it will fly in sureness and in joy to join its holy purpose. Let it rest in its Creator, there to be restored to sanity, to freedom, and to love. So another way of saying we're not in our right minds is saying we're insane. We do not have sanity. In any instant that we are perceiving our wholeness outside of ourselves, I know sanity may seem like a strong word to represent what's going on there, but it's just common sense. Whenever someone is, including ourselves, whenever we are believing that we're lacking something and we need it to make us whole, we're insane, because we're in the world that means nothing that we think means something. But remember, me and you have given all the meaning to everything that we see out there. And when we know that, then we will no longer continue to give all the meaning and project it out there, because we understand that we are already the meaning, and then we could extend rather than project. Remember, there's two and only two ways that you can give. You can extend what really exists, which is love, light, etc., or you can project, which is what the ego does. The ego is that sense of self we think we are, which identifies with the body, and we believe that there is some form of fear within us, lack. We are lacking something. We are separate from our creator. We believe we are really not in truth, but because we believe that we are separate from all that is just as powerful as actually being separate because we think that we are. Therefore, it's our truth and reality to us in our minds. Now, because that guilt is too much to take on, this is what's happening psychologically, whether we're aware of it or not, because that guilt of being separate from everyone and everything is such a strong form of guilt that I separated myself from all that is. I took on this tiny little body. I'm this ego now, and like, fuck, I'm screwed. I feel guilty. That's kind of what's going on in our minds on a level beneath our awareness. We feel that guilt, and what the ego does in order um, to kind of what's the word? There's a great word that I'm looking for. To I'll think of the word, but to kind of make that guilt less harsh, it projects it out there. So now what we're doing, we just felt the way that I expressed, like damn. Then we say, hold up, I could see the guilt outside of me. And that's why this body was made, why the eyes see separate things, and why me and you see all the guilt out there, all the fear, the worry, the doubt, the chaos, the drama out there, because now it takes that toll off of us. Because now we feel like, okay, I'm good. It's all out there. The guilt's happening out there. It doesn't really exist within me. I have I'm good. That's what we're trying to get to. We deep down know who we really are, but we believe something otherwise, and that's why that's too strong of a bondage to take on. So we perceive all the junk out there. Anyways, long story short, me and you are only perceiving our images. We can't escape. Well, we can escape, but we can't escape when we look out there. Me and you can escape the world we see by giving up attack thoughts, which is why whenever me and you give up the attack thoughts of fear and jealousy, envy, etc., all those emotions that we discuss every single day, whenever we give those up and we give up those attack thoughts because that's exactly what they are, then we release ourselves from them and we will be free. Me and you are in the process of freeing ourselves from the prison that we made, and we can't do that if we're unaware of a belief that we hold that is operating behind the scenes, which is why when we're reading knowledge such as this, then we can be aware of those beliefs from above the battleground and point them out. So next time we do fall asleep and we're in that emotion and the emotional charge is active again, we can blow it out just like that, because now you are aware that it is nothing. You have given this situation, event, circumstance, etc., all the meaning that it has for you. And now, once you blow out that emotional charge by seeing this situation as it really is, which is of your own making that you valued, and you remove your value from it by placing your value in truth where you really abide, then that thing could come about 10 more times throughout your week and it won't trigger you no more, because you no longer have the belief in relation to that situation that keeps occurring with different faces and different places. You no longer have the belief that is causing you to get upset because you removed it from its source. You healed the root problem at its source. What most people do is they try to change other people, they try to change the circumstance out there in the real world, and that is just as stupid as going in the mirror and breaking the mirror to try to change your appearance. It is not going to work. It is only a temporary fix until you turn around and you see there's another mirror right there reflecting back to you what you still hold, what you still look like, so to speak. So this is really interesting to think about how we have deviated this far from who we really are, and we are returning, which is such a great feeling because we see all that pain that we went through in our past, and we see how avoidable it was and how unnecessary it was. Give it 10 minutes. Rest 3 times today. Give it 10 minutes, rest 3 times today. And when your eyes are opened afterwards, you will not value anything you see as much as when you looked at it before. Your whole perspective on the world will shift by just a little. Every time you let your mind escape its chains, that's powerful. Your whole perspective on the world will shift by just a little every time you let your mind escape its chains. So, right now, me and you, by escaping the chains of our prison that we made for the amount of time that we've been here together today, has literally allowed us and our perspective to change just a little bit. So now when we go our separate ways and we go back out there, we will be a little more freer than before because we're a little more aware than before. And I thought of the word that I was thinking about that I want to share. It's mitigate. The ego tries to, what we're doing when we're identified with the ego is we try to mitigate all that pain. So that's why we are projecting everything out there. So we take all that weight and all the toll off of us. But now it's even worse because whenever you project fear outside of yourself, you believe that you need to be protected. You believe that you could be attacked. You believe that attack is possible because you're perceiving attack outside of yourself when really the source of attack is within. And whenever you no longer try to mitigate the problem by not just by perpetuating it, just stop it and find the solution, which is, you know, the solution by now, remembering that you only have one problem, and that problem is our separation, or our sense of separation, our belief of separation from our source, from who we really are, from all aspects of creation. Whenever we remember and return to the fact that we are one with all aspects of creation, we understand that what God creates, which is all aspects of creation, is love and light. Therefore, when you look outside of yourself, you will see nothing other than love and light. And if you see at this moment in time anything other than love and light outside of yourself, it is of your own making, and me and you together are going to undo that for the next few months that we're together. And it's going to be such a powerful journey. Think about how far me and you have came already at this point. Like if we stopped right here, this would be a total transformation of the life that we used to live, and a wonderful beginning to this instant right now, the life that we have right now. But we still got some work to do, so get comfortable because we're not finished yet. Let's continue. The world is not where it belongs, and you belong where it would be, and where it goes to rest when you release it from the world. Your guide is sure. Open your mind to him. Be still and rest. Protect your mind throughout the day as well, and when you think you see some value in an aspect or an image of the world, refuse to lay this chain upon your mind, but tell yourself with quite certainty, this will not tempt me to delay myself. The world I see holds nothing that I want. And that is the end of today's lesson. Before we go, I do want to mention this last sentence. It stated, when you think you see some value in an aspect or an image of the world, refuse to lay this chain upon your mind. Now, think about me and you as label makers, okay? Me and you are label makers, meaning we put labels on everything. We are image makers. We put images on everything unknowingly. We don't even know that we're doing this. And then we believe that what we put there is true. Now we're going to use the word identity. This is a big one that I see a lot of people have problems with, including myself, whenever I'm identified with the ego. Whenever we try to give ourselves an identity, like I am this, or I am that, I am an artist, or I am a doctor, or I am this, or that, I am a anything of the world. Whenever we place those labels on ourselves and that's our identity, then remember, whenever you put an identity on yourself, it makes it harder for you to grow beyond that. If me and you knew who we really are, our true identity, which is the Son of God, the light of the world, which is spirit, which is all that is, whenever we know that that's our identity, then we can no longer put those shackles on ourselves. We're no longer tied to them, and it releases you from what other people think about you, because now people can say you're this, you're that, and say whatever they desire, but you now understand that they are also image makers, they're label makers, and they're projecting their own fears on you. And now it takes the weight off you because you understand that that is not true. The only reason why people get hurt and frustrated about what other people think about them is because deep down they believe that it's true on a level beneath their awareness. But whenever you know that your true identity is as God created you, then whenever you see another child of God who is as God created them, projecting all their fears on you, it's just reflecting back, bouncing right off. You are a pure mirror. You are no longer absorbing what the world is telling you. You are pure, and now you are a great mirror to reflect back to the world what they are doing to themselves. And people who are mean to themselves, people who are attacking themselves with their thoughts are going to see you, and they are going to be attacked even further, not because you did anything, but because they've placed an image on you and they're attacking themselves as a result of doing so, as a result of not seeing you who you really are, i.e., who they really are. And whenever someone looks at you and they think they need you, that's also them attacking themselves because they're forgetting that they are already whole, regardless of if you, this body that they think you are, is in their possession or not. But whenever someone looks at you and you remind them of that peace and that joy that is eternal, and you produce joy within that individual, you are reminding them and showing them that there is something within you that is capable of producing joy. The body is nothing, it cannot produce joy, but what animates the body, which is God, which is spirit, which is light and love, can produce joy because it is joy. And whenever someone else sees that and feels that joy that you made them feel, deep down, again, below their level of awareness, they are like, whoa, deep down, I know that this is just an illusion. I know that this body that looks like them is nothing, but I'm chained right now to believing that they are this body, but they just produce joy in me. And that is a little reminder. And I don't know why I feel so good, but deep down they feel so good because they are free in that instant. They are free from believing they are a body because you just produce joy in them, which is who they really are. So for those little glimpses, people are getting little glimpses of enlightenment. People are getting little glimpses of their true nature, only to be preoccupied with the past again and then fall back asleep in the world of illusion. This is very powerful stuff we're discussing here. We're going to pause right here and remember how powerful you are. Remember that you are not this body. Never forget that. You have to make that a program, because as long as you believe you're a body in any instant, that's when all the pain comes and all the suffering and all the stuff that you do not want. All your projections will be reflected back at you when you believe you're a body. But when you know who you really are and you know your true identity, then you understand that you are free from all of the limits that you have placed upon yourself. And now can you finally transcend them and go beyond them. So that was today's lesson. Very powerful stuff. And we will meet again tomorrow for the next lesson. I'll catch you there.